right. So, it's not long now. It's not long now. We are so close, right? Do you know what? Like, I've always loved playing, like, Tekken and Street Fighter and stuff, and generally I try and, like, buy them on release. Because I just love fighting games. But I think this is the first time, maybe for Tekken Tag, so let me re-clarify. Tekken 2 was a huge game, right? I remember somebody imported it when I was working, doing like a LAN gaming show. For those that don't know, LAN is connecting up computers physically to each other via switches and stuff, and routers and whatnot. And anyway, so we had, it was an event for that, and I was running the console section for fighting games, and somebody at the end of the night had imported a copy of Tekken 2, what they call the Silver, because it wasn't legit. And I remember after the whole show, everyone was just crowded around this TV watching Tekken 2, right? It was amazing. But in at least the last sort of like, you know, I mean, I would have got Tekken Tag, you know, Tournament 2, but the excitement and the hype for me around Tekken 8 is immeasurable. Like, it's so good. And it feels like it's the very first time, at least for a very long time, I'm hyped and so excited about a brand new fighting game. Like, I was really looking forward to Grand Blue. Grand Blue is an amazing game. But Tekken's obviously been out longer, so there's a longer pedigree there. And so I'm just all in, right? And it's the first time. I played tons of the demo. I played tons of the beta, the closed beta. I played tons of the network test. It's just, it really is just an amazing game. At least what I've found so far, right? I don't know actually when the embargo is for reviews. I've now reviewed all the Tekken games apart from the PSP version and the HD version for Tekken Tag Tournament, and of course the PSP Tekken 5. So Dark Resurrection. So I haven't reviewed those two, but everything else has been reviewed. You can find them on the channel under the playlist for Tekken playlist games like Tekken and Fate, and the respective like PlayStation consoles for each release. Tekken 8 is going to rapture a large portion of the Mortal Kombat community. What's rapture? Well, if you're a Christian out there, you'll know what I'm talking about. For those that don't know, what the rapture is that when you're a Christian and you believe in Jesus, what happens is that one day he returns, and with an instant, just like that, all of the people that are believers in Jesus Christ are taken up with him. Now, they're taken away from Earth for two reasons. One, because that becomes his new church for when the return happens in 7 years. The second thing is because what comes after the rapture is the tribulation, which is pretty much hell on earth. And believers in Jesus Christ, he doesn't want them to suffer that, so they are removed from what's about to happen. That's going to be Tekken 8. Tekken 8 is like, you know, the return of this greatness, this wonderful, you know, thing. And when you've got Mortal Kombat fans, I've said this before because I've seen the comments on my videos that people that have never played Tekken, or people that are, you know, maybe dabbled back in the day, are eagerly awaiting this game because even they can see the love and care and attention that has gone into the release of this. Unless it like turns into some gigantic colossal flop, which I very much doubt. Now, of course, if Tekken isn't in your wheelhouse and you get the game, or you tried the game out at least and it's not your cup of tea, that's fine. That's perfectly okay, right? But I think, just from what I'm seeing, from the decline with what we've seen with Mortal Kombat, despite the sales, Tekken 8 is going to rapture probably a large swath of the remaining MK fan base, or these MK1 players, if you will. Because the retention rate on MK1 is absolutely abysmal. You know, like, it's just, you know, everyone keeps like harping on about sales, but it doesn't matter how much sells. You could sell 3 million in one day, and then by the following weekend, barely anyone's loading it up because it's got a whole host of issues. Everything from actual technical issues with the game, as well as people realizing that there's not really much substance to the game in itself. And so people just stop logging in. And with all the hype surrounding Tekken 8, the marketing by Namco has been through the roof. They are not taking the boot off the neck. They are pinning Mortal Kombat 1 to the pavement, and they're going, no, you will not be allowed to further inflict your rubbish game on the fighting game community, right? So I would not be surprised if that does occur. Now, discussions earlier today with Diddle when I was on the live stream, there is obviously and this happens a lot, where people get really disgruntled with the game, they leave it for something else, grass is always greener, and then, you know, they realize after a few weeks, they're like, nah, it's not really for me. Sometimes they'll come back, but sometimes they won't even come back at all, and they won't even stay where they thought they might enjoy it either. They will just, they'll just leave. Like, and I've seen other comments, even someone that's very close friend of mine, even say things like, listen, if Tekken 8 doesn't come through, I might be done with fighting games. Now that's really sad, because fighting games are great. And the thing is though, I want you guys to keep in mind that, like, I'm a fighting game fan as well as a massive Mortal Kombat fan. To me, when I view a fighting game, it's not just about, you know, oh, what's the combat going to be like online? It's the whole host of everything, dude. It's loading the game up, seeing the intro, the title screen, the menu, the music, the menu sound effects, what modes are available, what mini games are possibly there. How much detail is there in learning about the characters? Is there any backstory stuff that you can look at? You know, is there any customization for your character? So many things I look at as through the eyes of someone that's a fan of gaming in general, particularly in fighting games. And that is all about the experience. I'm getting goosebumps, man. It's all about the experience from the start. As soon as you load up, it's got to be like, pow, like getting you straight in the mood, straight up. We want you here. We want you part of the Iron Fist tournament. And Namco know that, and they have been killing it with their advertising and keeping the hype train just constantly rolling. They're not running out of fuel with this, okay? And giving the first teaser of the first, as you can see on screen, the first teaser for Eddie Gordo, which I actually really like. I think it looks pretty awesome, to be honest. He's all like real, I don't know, he's got that real, I'm all business kind of look. Yeah, he looks mean as shit, you know, kind of killmongery, right? I think it's going to be great. Now, obviously, it's not Mortal Kombat, is it? You're not going to have those characters. You're not going to have the blood. You're not going to have the fatalities. But Tekken has its own things too, right? So for those that do decide that they want to give it a shot, just remember that this is a completely different universe. It's a completely different fighting game, fighting style, right down to the movement. I mean, it's a full 3D fighter. It doesn't play like a 2D fighter. So there's a lot of things to consider, but you can take as long as you want to get used to this game and see where it fits, and just try out any characters you like. If you, again, this is for people to buy it. Try out any character you like. Doesn't matter whether they look crazy. Doesn't matter if you think, oh, I don't know if they're going to be fun. Just try it out, man. You never know. You never know how much, you know, you might actually enjoy it. But yeah, it's going to be very telling. It's going to be very telling in response to this, because they are just going all out. brand new year kicking off with a gigantic Godzilla type, you know, epic just throwdown of the gauntlet in the fighting games and going, no, we are dominating this year. We are 100% dominating this year. And they are just going to keep the pedal to the metal and let everyone know that yes, Tekken is definitely back in town. And there's so much here for you to enjoy if that's your thing. So yes, it'll be very interesting to see what happens with the Rapture of Mortal Kombat 1 and see whether or not it takes how many believers, if you will. Anyway guys, I'll leave it there. Let me know what you think. Catch you next time.
Me up there.